During the spring and autumn period, in its early years, the state of Qi, under the assistance of the renowned Chancellor Guanzhong, was once a superpower dominating the Central Plains. However, nearly 100 years after the death of its ruler Duke Huan of Qi, Qi's golden age had passed, and it had become a declining great power. Meanwhile, the state of Chu, originally a southern tribal nation considered uncivilized, had grown increasingly powerful and had now risen to become one of the 5 hegemons, growing more arrogant and overbearing by the day. In 548 BC, the ruler of Qi, Duke Jing of Qi, displayed an arrogant and presumptuous attitude during a visit to the state of Jin, which angered Jin's leadership. As a result, Jin dispatched troops to launch a show-of-force attack against Qi. The Qi army was unable to resist, and the Jin forces advanced nearly to the capital of Qi. This made Duke Jing realize that Qi's era of dominance over the Central Plains was over. Determined to counter Jin's threat, he decided to form an alliance with the state of Chu. Thus, he sent his renowned minister Yan Zi, famous for his eloquence and wisdom, on a diplomatic mission to Chu. The king of Chu, knowing that Yan Zi was short in stature, sought to take the opportunity to humiliate him. He had a small opening, only 5 feet high, made beside the main city gate and invited Yan Zi to enter through it. Yan Zi refused, saying, "Those sent on missions to dog nations may enter through dog holes. Today, I have come to Chu on a diplomatic mission, I should not enter through a dog hole." The reception officials had no choice but to escort Yan Zi through the main gate instead. When Yan Zi met the king of Chu, the king said, "Is there no one in Qi that they would send you as their envoy?" Yan Zi replied, "The capital of Qi, Linzi, has over 7,000 households. When people spread their sleeves, they can block out the sun. When they sweat, it's like rain falling from the sky. People stand shoulder to shoulder, toe to heel, how can you say Qi has no one?" The king of Chu said, "If that's the case, why send someone like you as their envoy?" Yan Zi responded, "In Qi, envoys are chosen based on the ruler they are sent to. Wise and capable envoys are sent to wise and capable rulers, incompetent envoys are sent to incompetent rulers. Since I am the most incapable, I've been sent, regretfully, to Chu." The king of Chu was left speechless. At the banquet held to welcome Yan Zi, just as everyone was enjoying their wine, 2 officials dragged a prisoner past the king of Chu. The king asked, "What state is this man from?" An attendant replied, "He is from Qi, and he was caught stealing." The king of Chu glanced at Yan Zi and said, "Are people from Qi naturally inclined to steal?" Yan Zi rose from his seat and replied, "I've heard something like this, when orange trees grow south of the Huai River, they bear sweet oranges, when they grow north of the Huai, they become bitter trifoliate oranges. Though the leaves look similar, the fruits taste different. Why is that? Because the soil and climate are different. Now, people don't steal when they live in Qi, but they start stealing after arriving in Chu. Could it be that the soil and climate of Chu are what make people prone to stealing?" The king of Chu laughed and said, "A wise man is clearly not someone you can mock easily, looks like I've made a fool of myself instead." Since then, the phrase, "Nanju Beiji," meaning oranges grown south of the Huai River are sweet, while those grown north are bitter, has become an ancient idiom. It symbolizes how the social, moral, and cultural environment in different regions can have varying impacts on people. This brings to mind a conversation that circulated years ago between Barack Obama and Steve Jobs, discussing the idea of bringing manufacturing back to the United States. Barack Obama: "Steve, Apple's an American company. Iconic. Yet most of your products are made overseas. Why can't those jobs come back to the US?" Steve Jobs: "Barack, I get it. Believe me, I wish we could. But it's not just about labor costs, though that's part of it. It's about the entire supply chain. It doesn't exist here anymore." Obama: "So what you're saying is, even if we paid more, we couldn't just flip a switch and start building iPhones in Texas?" Jobs: "Exactly. China can mobilize 250,000 workers overnight. You call in engineers, they're sleeping in dorms next to the factories. If something breaks, it's fixed before lunch. That flexibility? We just don't have that infrastructure here anymore. Obama. But shouldn't we try? Incentivize companies to rebuild that ecosystem here, advanced manufacturing, skilled labor, robotics? Jobs. In theory, yes. But it would take a decade, maybe more. And Apple is a business, we can't pause while the US catches up. What we can do is invest in education, innovation, and automation. If America leads in those, maybe we build a new kind of manufacturing here. Obama. Fair enough. But we can't ignore the working class forever. There's a social cost to offshoring too. Jobs. I agree. That's why I'm funding STEM programs. We have to reinvent what work looks like in America. Because those old jobs? They're not coming back. But new ones, better ones, can be created. If we're bold enough. Obama, nodding. Then let's be bold.